Shia professionals, including doctors, engineers, scientists, lawyers, teachers, and scholars, have been brutally murdered by the Taliban and the Taliban support organizations. According to an estimate, more than 20,000 Shia Muslims have been killed in the last 2 decades. Only in 2012, more than 550 Shia are killed throughout Pakistan. Unfortunately, Pakistan law enforcement agencies and the judiciary have failed to take necessary steps against Taliban and affiliates. Sadly enough, not a single person has been arrested or persecuted for their mass killing. We strongly condemn this brutality against Shia of Pakistan and firmly believe that this conspiracy is not only against Shia but also against Pakistan and Islam itself. We request Honorable Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, to respond to the respectable Amnesty Internationals and all the global human rights organizations.
Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein. Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein.
Thousands of Shia professionals, including doctors, engineers, scientists, lawyers, teachers, and scholars, have been brutally murdered by the Taliban and the Taliban-supported organization. According to an estimate, more than 20,000 Shia Muslims have been killed in the last 2 decades. Only in 2012, more than 550 Shia were killed throughout Pakistan. Unfortunately, Pakistani law enforcement agencies and judiciary have failed to take necessary steps against these Taliban and their affiliates. Sadly enough, not a single person has been arrested or prosecuted for this mass killing. We strongly condemn this brutality against Shia of Pakistan and firmly believe that this conspiracy is not only against Shia but also against Pakistan and Islam itself. We request Honorable Secretary General of United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, respectable Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. Stephen Harper, and parliamentarians, Amnesty International and all the global human rights organizations to mobilize the leaders around the world to exercise their violence and injustice against Shia Muslims and save Pakistan from extremism.
Today we are gathered here in this weather against the innocent Shia Muslims killing in Pakistan. Since mid-1980s, more than 10,000 Shia Muslims have been killed in Pakistan by Taliban and other jihadi terrorists. According to an estimate, at least 20% of the 10,000 Shias killed are children or minors. This makes their number at least 2,000. Why are 2,000 Shia children killed in Pakistan? On mainstream media, social media is completely no mention of the 2,000 Shia children killed by Taliban. Many Pakistani and international media groups remain silent on Shia genocide in Pakistan. The entire world should realize that Taliban and other jihadi terrorists sponsored by Al-Qaeda is bigger threat to Shia Muslims in Pakistan. It is time that all of you would focus on innocent Shia getting killed in Pakistan. At this time, we need your support and not your silence.
This cold weather, just to show our solidarity and emotions for the killing of Shia in Pakistan. These innocent Shias are brutally killed by Taliban and Taliban-supported organizations. Unfortunately, the government of Pakistan, the judiciary and the law enforcement agency, they are all aware about these people, but they are criminally closing their eyes. They are not doing any actions against these Taliban and Taliban-supported terrorists. Even it's happened, sometimes they were arrested, they were go to the judiciary system, but our judiciary system and the judges, they release them to kill more Shias in Pakistan. We are strongly protesting for these things. Systemic genocide of Shia Muslim has been going on for many years in Pakistan. thousands of Shia professionals, including doctors, engineers, scientists, lawyers, teachers, and scholars, have been brutally murdered by the Taliban and Taliban-supported organizations. According to the estimate, more than 20,000 Shia Muslims have been killed in last two decades. Only in 2012, more than 550 Shias are killed throughout the Pakistan. Unfortunately, Pakistani law enforcement agencies and judiciary have failed to take necessary steps against Taliban and their affiliates. Sadly enough, not a single person has been arrested or prosecuted for the vast killing. We strongly condemn this brutality against Shia of Muslims, Shia of Pakistan, and firmly believe that this conspiracy is not only against Shia, but also against Pakistan and Islam itself. We requested Honorable Secretary General of United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, and respectable Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. Stephen Harper, Canadian parliamentarians, Amnesty International, and all the global human rights organizations to provide the leaders around the world and exercise their influence to stop this violence and injustice against Shia Muslims and save Pakistan from extremities. Recently, about a week ago, in Quetta, Pakistan, there was a two bomb blast happened. Approximately 120 people died within 10 to 15 minutes. After these incidents, the government banned and censored the media to release the information. We get the information from the international media. Also, unfortunately, the government and the officials and the security forces, they ignored these incidents. The loved one of the martyred people, they were protesting on Alamdar Road. When nobody listened to them, they sit over there with 86 dead bodies. They refuse to bury them because they want justice, they want peace, they want protection. They sit on this cold weather over there for approximately more than 3 days and nobody talked to them. After 3 days, government officials, including the Prime Ministers of Pakistan, went over there, they talked to the people. The loved one of the innocent people, they had no demand. Their only demand was they want protection, they want peace, they want these Taliban and Taliban supported organizations, people being arrested. It's happened before, they've been arrested by security forces, but fortunately the judiciary, they released them. After 3 days, the Prime Minister of Pakistan went over there, he listens and accepted some of the demand of these innocent people, including putting governor rules and dismiss the corrupt government of the Balochistan. But still, Shia people are required their security. They are demanding the arrest of these Taliban and Taliban-supported organizations. So far, nothing happened. All these agencies and the government agencies, they are aware, they know the name, but they are not doing their actions to arrest them. We strongly requested by the government of Pakistan to arrest these people as soon as possible and bring them for the justice. At the same time, we are requesting our Honorable Prime Minister, Premiers, parliamentarians, and the fellow Canadians to use your influence to the government of Pakistan to do some justice for these innocent people. Thank you very much. Labbaik ya Hussein!
Labbaik ya Hussein!
Dear brothers and sisters and the fellow Canadians, we are here to show our solidarity with the innocent people who killed in Pakistan. We have a questions to the government of Pakistan, who is responsible to provide security to the people in Pakistan, especially the innocent Shia people. If a serial killer of the Taliban killing innocent Shia people in Pakistan, who will be responsible? It's a responsibility of the government of Pakistan and the security agency, and also at the same time the judiciary of the Pakistan to take the necessary action. they should stop and arrest this killer from the Taliban. If you cannot do this thing, it means you have no right to sit on those chairs. You have all authorities. You can use the security forces and the judiciary, but unfortunately you're not taking the necessary steps. We are strongly requesting you, suggesting you, please do some actions to protect the innocent people of the Pakistan. Unfortunately, the politicians and the government of Pakistan, they are so busy to filling up their pocket with the monies and the innocent bloods of the Shia people over there. They have no time to do actions against these people. We demanded the government of Pakistan will arrest the perpetrator, planner, masterminder, financier and supplier of the bomb blast in Pakistan, especially the Quetta, the Chillas, Gilgit, Karachi, Rawalpindi, Dera Ismail Khan and other part of the Pakistan. We are also demanding to arrest them, punish them and bring them to the full extent of the law. We also demand to provide the security to Shia and other people in Pakistan by this Taliban and Taliban supported organization. These Taliban and Taliban supported organizations, they are the enemies of Allah, they are the enemies of Islam, they are the enemies of Pakistan, they are the enemies of humanity. We do not want that another mother see their young people die. We don't want to see the father who buried their young children again. We don't want to see any sisters see the dead body of their brother. It's enough. This is the time the government of Pakistan needs to take necessary actions and arrest these Taliban and Taliban supported people. Labbaik ya Hussein.
On behalf of Muslim community of Windsor, we express our condolence to those Shia families who have been violently killed by the banned jihadi organization in Pakistan. The ongoing massacres and target killing of Shia Muslims currently taking place in Pakistan since 1980. Since 1980, Shias belonging to all walks of life and all ethnic backgrounds have been targeted and killed in every possible way, at every possible place and area in Pakistan. Almost all incidents, Shia have been killed by the banned terrorist organization, Takfuri, Deobandi militants of Sipai Saba and Tehrik-e-Pakistan Taliban. Religious scholars, doctors, lawyers, educationalists, government officials, other professionals, shopkeepers, vendors, students, all have been targeted in one way or the other way of mere reason of being Shia. Since Shia have been attacked in religion procession, they have been dragged off the buses, they have been slaughtered, they have been dragged on their way to the pilgrimage, they have been subject to attacks on their way to the school or workplace, they have been gunned down while offering prayers, they have been attacked while performing their regular duties. They have been killed in all parts of the country, from China to Karachi, Balochistan to Gilgit-Baltistan. Massacre of huge ordinary citizens, Shia Muslims residing in all provinces and areas of Pakistan, more than 10,000, up to 19,000 Shia have been killed so far. It is important that a genocide emergency is declared in order to save Pakistani more than 36 million, 20% of the whole population from the barbarism of the banned organization. Our aim is to show solidarity with those families who have been brutally killed and create an awareness in decision-making circle in Western countries about the social and natural, unreported, diluted, and misrepresented Shia genocide in Pakistan. Islam is a religion of love. Islam is a religion of peace. Islam is a religion of unity and brotherhood. Islam believes of collectivism. Islam condemns any sort of secularism. We Muslims against the community. Labbaik ya Hussein!
Labbaik
Labbaik ya Hussein! Labbaik ya Hussein!
कोई बात नहीं
Labbaik ya Hussein! 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 Labbaik ya Hussein!
सेफ्टी फर्स्ट है ना, तो क्या We strongly condemn the criminal negligence and complicities of the government of Pakistan, evident by the fact that innocent civilians
मेमोरी खत्म हो जाएगी साइड में
Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein. Karbala, Karbala.
لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا गाड़ी रोके यार
Here.
Allahu Akbar!
Labbaik ya Hussein. Labbaik ya Hussein. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Shia killing no more!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Shia killing no more!
Speech.
है हमारी दस्तगा करबला करबला हक का सीधा रास्ता करबला करबला हक का सीधा रास्ता करबला करबला अली की तर्ज जिंदगी
मुनाफिकत की मौत है।
अली की तर्ज जिंदगी हुसैन की तर्ज जिंदगी अकीदा और जहाद हुसैन की तर्ज जिंदगी
और जिहाद है।
हमारी दस्तगाह करबला करबला हक का सीधा रास्ता करबला करबला हक का सीधा रास्ता करबला करबला नारे हैदरी
हेलो 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 हेलो
Oh, that is
who have been violently killed by the banned jihadi organization in Pakistan. The ongoing massacres and target killing of Shia Muslims currently taking place in Pakistan since 1980. Since the late 1980s, Shia belongs to all walks of life and all ethnic background have been targeted and killed in every possible way, at every possible place and area in Pakistan. In almost all incidents, Shia have been killed by the banned terrorist organization. Takfiri the militants of Sipai Sahaba and Taliban. Religious scholars, doctors, lawyers, educationals, government officials, other professionals, shopkeepers, vendors and students have been targeted in one way or other by the mere reason of being Shia. Shia have been attacked in religious procession. They have been dragged out the buses and slaughtered. They have been targeted. They have been targeted on their way to the pilgrimage. They have been subject to attacks on their way to the schools or workshops. They have been gunned down while offering the prayers. They have been attacked while performing their regular daily business. They have been killed in all parts of the country, from Palachana to Karachi and Balochistan to Gilgit-Baltistan. Massacre of massacres of huge number of ordinary citizens, Shia Muslim, including residing in all provinces and areas of the Pakistan. More than 10,000 and up to 90,000 Shias have been killed so far. It is important that the genocide emergency is declared in order to save the Pakistanis. More than 36 million of Shia, which take about 20% of the whole population, from the barbarism of the banned organizations. Our aim to show the solidarity with those families who have been brutally killed and created an awareness in decision-making circle in the Western countries about the social and natural unreported, diluted and misrepresented Shia genocide in Pakistan. Islam is a religion of love. Islam is a religion of peace. Islam is a religion of unity and brotherhood. Islam believes on collectivism. Islam condemns any sort of sectarianism. We are Muslim is the one unit, is the one community. We demand to the Pakistan government must constitute a permanent anti-terrorism commission comprising the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of ISI, Judge of the Supreme Court, Federal Interior Minister, Representative of Shia Faisal Jr. Minister of Youth, liberty of Shia, Sunni, Brahmi, Deobandi, Christian, Hindu and other communities. The Commission must meet at least every month to monitor the state of secularism, decline in Pakistan, and deliberate on the progress of Kurd Shia genocide and other forms of the terrorism, violence against the other communities. Labbaik ya Hussein! Labbaik ya Hussein! Labbaik ya Hussein!
Thank you. अमीन मुन्नात, ख़वातीन और हज़रात, हम सब एक मकसद से यहाँ आए हैं। हम सब एक मकसद से यहाँ हैं कि हम शिया किलिंग जो पाकिस्तान में हो रही है उसकी मजम्मत करते हैं। नारे हैदरी! गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान के से हमारा मुतालबा है कि फौरी तौर पर शिया किलिंग को खत्म किया जाए। इस सिलसिले में आज हम सब मुत्तहिद होकर यहाँ पर आए हैं and we all are here to protest against the Shia killing in Pakistan.
لبيك يا حسين 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 لبيك يا حسين
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and beneficial. Dear fellow Pakistani Shia community and Pakistani community members in general, I don't have the words to describe the pain that we all go through once we hear the death of our relative or loved one who is shot or blown up in Pakistan by a suicide bombing or a drive-by shooting just for being a Shia. If we do not get news from the families, we see the news on the Pakistani media showing that Shia killing is going on in every part of the country. We, the Shia Muslims of Pakistan, are peaceful people and we condemn any act of terrorism, organizational or state-sponsored, of any kind in which innocent lives are lost. Most importantly, we condemn the act of terrorism against Shia Muslims in Pakistan, on which the world is fast asleep. Sometime I wondered, how would the nation, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, a Shia Muslim, a man with impeccable political character, who secured the freedom for us in 1947, and how the same nation 65 years again later became a barbaric nation with lack of religious tolerance. A nation in which people of the same faith call each other infidels and give a fatwa from an uneducated mullah and start systematically killing others. I remember my social studies class in which I read that Muhammad Ali Jinnah on 11th August 1947 said, "You are free. You are free to go to your temple. You are free to go to your mosque. And you can go to any place of worship in the state of Pakistan." From the speech of 1947 to current Shia genocide signifies how far the modern Pakistan departed from its founding ideals and became a place where the country's founder himself will be considered a terrorist, an infidel, and may be threatened by a suicide bomb just because he was Shia. Lucky for him and lucky for Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he died before the suicide jackets were invented in 1948. What started with few killings of Shia a month in 1980s changed into target killings of Shias, doctors in 90s. It escalated to random killings of Shia Muslims during possessions and now has changed into daily killings of Shia in every part of Pakistan. It is carefully crafted plan of Shia genocide, which is funded by Saudi money to stop the Iranian influence in the region. The sad part of this element is that non-state actors have the approval and support of all political parties of Pakistan, whether in government or outside. As a Shia nation, we have also failed to convince the Sunni brothers that the enemies are within our own ranks. The enemies of the state has been identified by the state itself, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, Sipai Sahaba and Lashkar-e-Jhangvi. It is now our civil responsibility to unite as a nation. we can then identify and highlight the terrorists in our neighborhoods and cities. We also feel badly because each bomb is blast and a foreign element is highlighted and the case is closed. The Sunni brothers in our country who are denying that rightfully termed as Shia genocide are actually aligning with the wrong side of the history. As I'm speaking to a well-educated class of people, I will simply define the genocide to present my case. United Nations Convention on the Prevention of Punishment and Crime of Genocide, Article 2 of the Geneva Convention states genocide as any of the following act committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such, killing members of a group, causing serious bodily harm and mental harm to the members of the group, and deliberately inflicting on the group condition of life calculated to bring about a physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. Now let's examine the Shia killings in Pakistan. More than 20,000 Shia Muslims have lost their life in last 1 decade only. As many as 502 Shias of all class, including high-profile leaders, thinkers, speakers, are murdered in targeted killing by terrorists of outlaws Sipai Sahaba and Lashkar-e-Jhangvi. In 2012 alone, notorious terrorist attacks innocent Azadari through suicide bombs, planned bombs, remote control bombs, IEDs, and straight fire. Shia Muslims are pulled out of buses and they are murdered after being identified as Shias through their IDs. It must be seen that one of the victim impact statements says, "It has been early morning when 24 masked men in army uniform stopped our convoy of buses. All passengers were asked to get down. In an organized manner, they separated the Shias from among the rest and killed each one of them. Pilgrims of Shia's shrine of Imam Raza and Bibi Fatima Masuma were martyred in suicide attack between Quetta many times. Last attack took place on December 30th, in which 19 people were martyred. On Thursday, January 10th, 2013, a series of bomb blasts ripped through Quetta, Pakistan. On Alamdar Road, at least 105 people were killed and many hundreds were wounded. Most of them were Shia Muslim. Al-Qaeda extremist group Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, whose stated goal is to transform Pakistan into a pure Sunni state, has claimed responsibility. And on January 18th, another member of parliament in Karachi was gunned down. The member of parliament, he had a predecessor who was also a member of a local organization and was of a Shia faith. In a brief recent history, headlines of the newspaper emphasize a gruesome reality of the intentional extermination of Shia Muslims that could justify the term genocide. There are few of hundreds of Shia killings in last 10 years. You still wonder, how is it genocide? The headline point to a pessimistic picture of Pakistan as a country whose internal stability situation is headed downwards in a bloody spiral of barbarism, where the security forces are impotent against the sinister syndicates executing the systematic slaughter of the Shia Muslim citizens. In past, dictators and currently political government has failed in its responsibility to afford protection to Shia Muslims in Pakistan. Today, no Shia is safe in Pakistan just because he's a Shia. Today, no Shia possession is safe in Pakistan because we protest against injustice and aggression. To all those who want us to be scared of them and who want us to be scared of their suicide bombing, stop. We are not. Don't waste your time. Martyrdom is our heritage and we will not be scared. We will not give up our faith, and definitely we will not stop our peaceful possession of Imam Hussain Azadari till the last Shia is alive. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we are peaceful people. We might not have a gun or bomb in our hand. We might not retaliate against them with the force, but soon we will form our own political force in Pakistan. There are 40 million Shias in Pakistan, more than the population of Canada. There is a Shia political vacuum and our religious and political interests are not represented in Pakistan's House of Lords. Let me just remind you, Pakistan is changing and we need to be part of the new system. We need to be part of the new system under our own banner and our own flag of Hussainiyat. We just wrote a history during a sit-down in Quetta for 4 days, where the government of Pakistan was forced to dissolve the assembly and to send the chief minister of Balochistan home. Enough is enough. You might plan to kill us, but we are not dead yet. We will stop you, inshallah. We will protect and keep protecting peaceful around the world. And these protests will go until the world is willing to listen to us and take actions to stop the ethnic cleansing of Shias in Pakistan. We demand the government of Pakistan to take stiff actions against the terrorist organizations like Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, Sipai Sahaba, who are banned in the books to fool the West, but openly hoist the flags in every city of Pakistan, utilizing terrorism to promote their agenda. We demand all the political parties of Pakistan to stop affording the terrorists protection purely for the purposes of political gains during elections. And we demand the government of Canada to use its diplomatic pressure in this matter and provide protection to all Shia Muslims who reach its soils to save them from the genocide. And in concluding everything, I will say, Haqo batil mein abhi maar ka hai, Khuda jaane kahan tak karbala hai.
لبيك يا حسين 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 صل على محمد Shia killing no more.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shia killing no more. Hey, हमारी दरसिता.
Karbala, Karbala.
हक़ सीधा रास्ता.
Karbala, Karbala.
हक़ सीधा रास्ता.
Karbala, Karbala.
लब्बैक या हुसैन. लब्बैक या हुसैन. लब्बैक या हुसैन. लब्बैक या हुसैन.
थर थरा दे ईश्वरे बातिल को ठोकर मार कर, थर थरा दे ईश्वरे बातिल को ठोकर मार कर, उठ उलट दे आस्तीने मिल्लत को फिर बेदार कर, वार पर मिसम सबन और फिक्र को मुख्तार कर, बानिए जोरो जफा को कत्ल कर, ललकार कर, इस वही शब्बीर पर चलकर अदा कर बंदगी, है अभी जिंदा अगर तो दे सबूते जिंदगी. नारे हैदरी.
Brother Jafar.
Now I'm going to ask Brother Jafar to give a speech.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
As Muslims, we have made the decision to submit to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as Muslims, we have made the decision to submit to the Prophet and Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. We have found him to be the walking, talking Quran, to be the moral code that brings humanity and saves humanity. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam taught us how to be humans, how to teach others how to be humans, regardless of what race, color, and ethnic background you come from. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam moved from Mecca to Medina, one of the first and fundamental things he did was lay down the foundations to the constitution of Medina, in which he protected the rights of humans alike, in which he protected the rights of the Jewish community in Medina, to show us as Muslims that no matter who you are, where you come from, you are equal in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the teachings of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And at the same time, we learn from the Prophet who left us a message. He said, after me, I leave you two things. I leave for you the Quran, and I leave for you the Ahlul Bayt, my family, my progeny. And we are here together simply because we have followed in the footsteps of the Prophet. We have held on to the Prophet's family. Peace be upon them all. I swear by God that the only reason that we have held on to them so strong is because we did not find anyone worthy to be followed as the Prophet's family. Peace be upon them. We followed them simply because we found them to be on the path of justice and truth. We followed Imam Hussein alayhi salam simply because we found him. We found him simply because we found him to stand against tyranny and injustice, in which he stood on the land of Karbala against tyranny and injustice. And this is the message that President of Pakistan Zardari today said, mentioning the event of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, saying that it is the most important event in the history of Islam, teaching us to render sacrifice for higher values. This is Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. This is the reason why we followed them. Today we stand together to tell our condolences first to the Imam of our time, Imam al-Asr, Imam al-Hujjah. May Allah hasten his reappearance. And to stand together to send our condolences to the families of those who have seen and witnessed these tragedies over the past years and the hundreds if not thousands of killings. But you know what? In the end, if you are dying because you love Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and the Prophet, then you have died a beautiful death. If it's as the narration of the Prophet says, a person's faith, a person will not have the faith until he loves me more than he loves himself, and he loves my family more than he loves his own family. With that message, brothers and sisters, we ask the Canadian Parliament and government and its officials and the all national and international organizations to stand and take a stand against the Shia genocide in Pakistan and anywhere else in the world. Brothers and sisters, thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
I would like to thank everybody to come in this cold weather and stand there from 2 o'clock till now and show their love for Imam Hussein, for Shias who got killed and murdered brutally by Taliban. Mu'minin Mu'minat, बहन भाइयों, आज सबका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। ये एक बहुत कठिन मरहला था जिसमें हमने सर्दी में और आपने जज्बे के साथ, उस जज्बे के साथ कि हम चाहे कोई आए ना आए, हम आएंगे और अपने इन शहीद भाइयों का साथ देंगे जो पाकिस्तान में बेदर्दी से मारे गए हैं। और इस जज्बे को देखते हुए मैं आप सबको सलाम करता हूँ। जाफर इस्लामिक सेंटर की जानिब से आप लोगों का मशकूर हूँ और एक एक आदमी का फर्दन बच्चों का, बहनों का, भाइयों का कि जिन्होंने इस मरहले पे आके हमारा साथ दिया और आज के एहतजाज को कामयाब बनाया। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। थैंक यू वेरी मच।